Welcome back to NBA Today. I'm George Sedano, joined by NBA front office insider Bobby Marks and senior writer Brian Windhorst. Bobby, we just had Woj on earlier, and Brian's been on here. And Woj said there are no teams besides the Lakers interested in a Kyrie sign and trade. But Brooklyn isn't believed to have interest in any Laker packages at the moment. So, Bobby, you lived this life, 20-plus years in NBA front offices. What is the craziest possible outcome in this Kyrie-KD situation?
Well, I mean, I think probably the craziest is that we get to training camp and the roster basically consists of Ben Simmons, right? As far as no Kyrie Irving and certainly no Kevin Durant, if that's going to be the domino effect if, let's say, Irving does go to the Lakers for significantly less money or there is a trade to be worked out here. So I think that's kind of the craziest thing is that it will be a package of younger players that Steve Nash has when we get into the training camp, because I don't see a path for Kyrie Irving to get himself to another team, whether it be in a sign and trade or even if he opts in trades, unless Brooklyn's willing to take back players that are rotational players. And then what does that mean if Kevin Durant asks out and now you're stuck with these type of players? So a lot to be worked out here. A lot to be worked out.
Brian, how do you feel about it? What could be the craziest scenario here?
Well, so I think it's important to realize that when you talk about a sign and trade, that the Lakers it would be very difficult for the Lakers to pull it off, even if they had a package that the Nets liked, because it would hard cap them, which Bobby can explain to you. And I'm not so sure they could even fill out a roster under a hard cap situation. What the Nets, I think, want is they want Kyrie to opt into that contract. And so then you can open up a whole different set of options, whether it's to bring Kyrie back or to have Kyrie get traded on that one-year contract, which seems to be what Kyrie may also potentially want if he opts into it. So, the issue is, I know that what is wanted by the fans here is, here's the 5 teams that can make the offer for Kyrie, or here's the 5 teams that can make an offer for Durant, and then me to go point by point. And we may get to that point. But the issue that we don't understand and that we can't possibly comprehend is if Kyrie Irving leaves and Kevin Durant does want to be moved, where Durant's leverage would be with 4 years left on his contract. He just would not have a leverage position. And it would really be something we've never seen before. And so, I can sit here and tell you, I could see why Kevin Durant would want to go to the Miami Heat, or I could see why Kevin Durant would want to go to the Phoenix Suns, because those are teams that with him, they could trade for him, and with him would be championship contenders. But I don't know if the Nets have any reason to consult Durant on where he would get traded, because he's got 4 years on his contract. We just saw this with Ben Simmons, who had 4 years on his contract. We ended up in a 6-month mess. And Simmons' trade value was very low because of what happened to him last season. Durant's trade value would be extraordinarily high. It wouldn't be incumbent on the Nets to find any offer. So I find this very unpredictable, and I still have a hard time feeling or seeing that the Nets are going to go down this path, but that is the precipice of where they're at.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.